Most people spend their entire lives looking for love. They chase it in relationships. They hope to find it in their family. But here's a truth that may surprise you. The most important love you will ever experience is the love you give yourself. Self-love is not about ego. It's not about thinking you are better than others. It's about accepting who you are, taking care of yourself, and treating yourself with the same kindness you would give to someone you deeply care about. Think about it. If you spoke to your best friend the way you sometimes speak to yourself in your own mind, would they still want to be around you? If the answer is no, it's time for change. Today, I want to take you on a journey into the heart of what it means to truly love yourself. This is not just a soft idea for dreamers. It's a powerful, practical way to build confidence, improve your relationships, and unlock the best version of you. By the end of this audiobook, you will see yourself in a new light. You will understand how self-love can rebuild broken confidence, break toxic cycles, and make you unstoppable. And you will know exactly how to start practicing it every single day. Chapter 1: Why Self-Love is Not Selfish. There's a belief that many people carry from childhood into adulthood. The idea that loving yourself is selfish. You might have heard parents, teachers, or relatives say things like, "Don't be self-centered," or "Think about others first." These words often come from a good place. They are meant to teach kindness, generosity, and empathy. But over time, this message can be misunderstood. Many people grow up thinking that putting their own needs first is wrong, that caring for themselves is somehow a sign of arrogance or pride. Here's the truth that changes everything. You cannot truly take care of others if you are running on empty. Imagine that your life is like a glass of water. When your glass is full, you can pour into the cups of your friends, family, and community. You can give your time, your love, and your energy freely. But when your glass is empty, when you are tired, stressed, and drained, what can you possibly give? You can't pour from nothing. And if you keep trying, you will eventually feel burned out, resentful, and even bitter toward the people you wanted to help in the first place. Self-love is what fills your glass. It is the foundation for every other kind of love you can give. It's not about ignoring others or putting yourself above them. It's about making sure you are strong enough, healthy enough, and mentally ready to show up for them. When you take time to rest, when you care for your body, when you speak kindly to yourself, you are investing in your own energy and well-being. And that investment pays off in the way you can serve, help, and inspire others. When you truly love yourself, you are teaching the world how to treat you. People watch the way you speak about yourself, even in small moments. They notice whether you dismiss your achievements or celebrate them. They see whether you respect your own boundaries or let others cross them. And here's the secret. The way you treat yourself sets the standard for how others will treat you. If you respect yourself, protect your energy, and value your time, others are far more likely to do the same. Another powerful gift of self-love is freedom. The freedom from being controlled by the opinions of others. Without self-love, your happiness will always rise and fall depending on what people say about you or how they treat you. If they praise you, you feel good. If they criticize you, your mood crashes. But when you love yourself, your value is not tied to someone else's approval. You stand on your own solid ground. You can listen to feedback without letting it destroy your confidence. You can enjoy compliments without becoming dependent on them. Think about how many people live their lives trying to please everyone around them, constantly saying yes when they want to say no, constantly hiding their true thoughts to avoid conflict. This is not generosity, it's self-neglect. And self-neglect does not lead to real kindness, it leads to exhaustion. Self-love gives you the courage to say no when something is not right for you. It gives you permission to rest without guilt. It allows you to take time to work on your own growth, to pursue your own dreams, and to heal from your own wounds. You are not being selfish when you do these things. You are building a foundation for a better life, not just for yourself, but for everyone you touch. Because here's the real secret. When you are healthy, confident, and at peace with yourself, you are able to give more love, more patience, and more kindness than you ever could from a place of emptiness. Self-love is not selfish. It's necessary. It's what allows you to live fully and give fully. It's the oxygen mask you put on yourself before helping others. Without it, you're simply trying to run on empty. With it, you are unstoppable. Chapter 2. Breaking the voice of self-doubt. We all have a voice inside our head. Sometimes it is gentle and wise. It reminds us to slow down, to think before we act, or to keep going when life is hard. But for many people, this voice is not a friend. It is a harsh critic. It says things like, "You're not good enough," "You can't do that," or "You're going to fail." This inner critic is the voice of self-doubt, and it can be one of the most destructive forces in your life. The voice of self-doubt doesn't appear from nowhere. It is often built from the words we heard when we were young. Sometimes it comes from parents who were too critical, from teachers who focused on our mistakes more than our progress, or from classmates who teased or judged us. Many of these people may not have meant to cause harm. They might have believed they were helping us improve. But repeated negative words can leave scars, deep ones, that grow into the voice we later hear in our own head. The first step to breaking free from self-doubt is awareness. You must notice it before you can change it. Most people are so used to the inner critic that they don't even realize how often it speaks. For a few days, pay close attention to how you talk to yourself. Write down the words you hear in your mind, especially during difficult moments. Then ask yourself an important question. Would I say these same words to a close friend or someone I love? If the answer is no, then why do you allow them in your own mind? This is where self-love begins, not with false praise, but with truthful kindness. Replacing self-doubt with self-love does not mean lying to yourself or ignoring your weaknesses. It means speaking the truth in a way that encourages growth instead of crushing it. For example, instead of saying, "I'm terrible at this," you can say, "I'm still learning and I will get better with practice." Instead of, "I always mess up," you can say, "I made a mistake, but I can fix it and learn from it." These changes may seem small, but over time, they transform the way you see yourself. Think of your mind like a garden. If you plant only weeds, harsh, negative thoughts, then the garden will soon be overgrown with them. There will be no space for anything beautiful to grow. But if you plant seeds of encouragement, patience, and hope, the garden will slowly fill with flowers. The same is true for your inner world. Seeds do not grow in dry soil, and your confidence cannot grow in constant criticism. This process takes time. At first, the voice of self-doubt will still speak loudly. It may even get louder when you try to ignore it. But the more you challenge it and replace it with a kinder, more supportive voice, the weaker it becomes. Over weeks and months, you will notice a shift. The criticism will fade, and a stronger inner voice will begin to rise. A voice that believes in you, cheers for you, and pushes you forward instead of holding you back. Breaking free from self-doubt is not about becoming perfect. It's about learning to see yourself as a work in progress, a human being who is growing every day. Self-love does not erase mistakes, but it helps you handle them with grace. It does not make you blind to your weaknesses, but it helps you face them with courage. And most importantly, it frees you from being your own worst enemy, so that you can finally become your own greatest supporter. When you master this, something powerful happens. The limits you thought were real begin to disappear. You stop saying, "I can't," and start asking, "How can I?" You stop avoiding challenges out of fear and start meeting them with confidence. And that is when your life begins to change. Not because the world is easier, but because you have learned to silence the voice that once held you back. Chapter 3. Setting Boundaries. Without Guilt. One of the clearest and strongest signs of self-love is the ability to set boundaries. A boundary is not a wall meant to keep people out of your life. It is more like a fence around your garden. It protects what is valuable inside while still allowing healthy relationships to grow. Boundaries are there to protect your time, your energy, and your mental and emotional health. Without them, life can quickly become overwhelming. When you have no clear boundaries, you will often feel drained, overworked, and even resentful toward the people around you. This is not always because those people are bad or selfish. In many cases, it happens because you have not made your needs or limits clear. If you keep saying yes to every request, others will assume you are fine with it. If you always drop your own plans to help, people will get used to that version of you. Over time, you begin to feel like you are living for everyone else, while your own needs and dreams slowly disappear into the background. Setting boundaries begins with self-awareness, knowing what you truly need to stay healthy and balanced. You have the right to say no to things that harm you, that drain your energy, or that pull you away from your values. You also have the right to say yes to things that bring you joy, help you grow, and make your life feel meaningful. This is not selfishness. It is self-respect. It is important to understand that some people will not like your boundaries at first. They may be surprised or even upset, especially if they are used to you giving without limit. They may try to convince you to go back to the old way, but this is part of the process. As you grow and learn to protect your space, the right people will respect your limits, and the wrong people will fade away. The people who truly care about you will adjust, because they will see that your boundaries are not meant to punish them. They are meant to protect you. Here's something to remember. Saying no to others often means saying yes to yourself. Every time you say no to something that drains you, you create space for something that energizes you. Every time you say no to something that takes you away from your goals, you create space to take a step toward them. And every time you say no to unhealthy situations, you say yes to your own peace of mind. Many people feel guilty when they first start setting boundaries. That guilt comes from years of believing that their worth is tied to how much they do for others. But the truth is, your value is not measured by how much you sacrifice. It is measured by who you are and how you choose to live. By taking care of yourself, you are actually able to give more to others in the long run, because you are operating from a place of strength instead of exhaustion. One practical way to start setting boundaries is to listen to your feelings. If you feel tension, dread, or frustration about a request, that is a signal that you may need to say no. You do not always have to explain yourself in detail. A simple, respectful no is enough. If someone truly values you, they will not require you to harm yourself in order to please them. Boundaries are not about being distant or cold. They are about building healthy relationships where both sides feel respected. They are about teaching people how to treat you and showing them that you value your own well-being. When you practice this, your life becomes more peaceful, your relationships become healthier, and you feel more in control of your time and energy. The truth is simple. You cannot live a life of self-love without boundaries. And once you learn to set them without guilt, you will realize they are not a form of selfishness. They are a form of freedom. Chapter 4. The Mirror Principle. Seeing yourself as you are. Stand in front of a mirror. Don't rush. Don't just glance at your reflection like you do every morning when brushing your teeth or fixing your hair. Really look at yourself. Let your eyes settle on the person staring back. Now ask yourself, what do I see? For many people, the answer is quick and painfully familiar. They see flaws. They notice the tiny wrinkle forming on their forehead, the scar on their chin, the uneven skin tone, the extra weight, the hair that doesn't sit quite right. Their eyes scan their reflection almost like a scanner searching for mistakes. And without even realizing it, they start their day carrying the quiet burden of self-criticism. This habit becomes so natural that we forget there is another way to see ourselves. But self-love invites us to look differently. It calls us to shift our perspective, to see the whole picture, not just the parts we wish we could change. You are not just the curve of your nose or the shape of your jawline. You are not defined by the texture of your hair or the stretch marks on your skin. You are a mind that has dreamed wild dreams, learned lessons, and solved problems that once seemed impossible. You are a heart that has loved deeply, felt joy, endured heartbreak, and still found the courage to hope. You are a living, breathing story, one filled with victories and lessons and chapters that have yet to be written. Your body is not your enemy. It is your home. Think about it. It has carried you through every single day of your life so far. It has fought off sickness, healed from injuries, and adapted when life demanded more from you than you thought you could give. It has allowed you to hug the people you love, to walk through cities and forests, to hold a pen, to write words, to dance, to work, to create, to comfort, and to explore. When you look in the mirror and only see a collection of flaws, you miss the miracle standing in front of you. This is where the mirror principle comes in. A simple but powerful truth. The way you see yourself determines how you show up in the world. If you look in the mirror and believe you are weak, you will walk through life with hesitation. If you believe you are unworthy, you will settle for less than you deserve. But if you look in the mirror and see someone capable, resilient, and worthy of love, your actions will naturally follow that vision. Your confidence, decisions, and even the opportunities you notice will shift. Change your vision of yourself, and you change your life. Now let's be clear. This is not about fake positivity. It's not about pretending you have no flaws or living in denial. It's about balance. You can acknowledge areas where you want to grow while still recognizing what is already strong and beautiful about you. Think about how you see a friend you truly love. You know they have quirks and imperfections, but you also see their laughter, their kindness, their strength. You appreciate them as a whole person. You can give yourself that same gift. Here's a simple but life-changing exercise. Each morning, when you see your reflection, say one kind thing to yourself. It can be about your appearance. I love my smile. Or about your character. I'm proud of how determined I am. At first, you might feel ridiculous. You might think, this is silly. How can talking to myself make any difference? But here's the truth. The words you speak to yourself are powerful. Over time, these small moments of kindness rewire your brain. They train you to notice your strengths instead of obsessing over your flaws. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. Instead of zeroing in on the things you dislike, you start seeing the light in your eyes, the warmth in your smile, the strength in your posture, or the gratitude for what your body allows you to do. And when you start seeing yourself in this way, you begin to carry that energy into the world. You speak with more confidence. You stand taller. You take opportunities you once thought were out of reach, because deep down, you now believe you are worthy of them. Of course, there will be days when the mirror shows you a tired face, messy hair, or eyes heavy with stress. Life will always have those days. But self-love doesn't erase the hard moments. It helps you face them with compassion instead of criticism. On those mornings, instead of saying, I look terrible, you can say, I'm tired today, but I'm doing my best. That one small shift changes the way you treat yourself. Instead of dragging yourself down further, you lift yourself just enough to keep moving forward. The mirror is not just a piece of glass. It is a daily opportunity. A reminder that the person looking back at you is human, imperfect, but also incredible. You have survived everything life has thrown at you so far. You have grown, adapted, and kept going when you thought you couldn't. That reflection deserves kindness, patience, and respect. When you learn to see yourself differently, you don't just change your mornings, you change your life. You stop shrinking into the shadows of your insecurities and start stepping into the light of your own worth. And slowly, without even realizing it, you become the kind of person who no longer hides from the mirror, but greets it each day with gratitude and self-assurance. Because in the end, the mirror principle is not really about glass, it's about truth. And the truth is this: when you choose to see yourself clearly, strengths, flaws, and all, you unlock the power to live as the strong, worthy, and capable person you were always meant to be. Chapter 5. How Self-Love Fuels Your Success. When people talk about success, they often focus on the obvious ingredients: skills, talent, hard work, and sometimes a sprinkle of luck. These things certainly matter, but there's another crucial ingredient that doesn't get enough attention: belief. Not just belief in your goals or in the possibility of success, but belief in yourself. The deep conviction that you can learn, adapt, grow, and overcome whatever challenges stand in your way. This belief is not something that arrives overnight, nor is it handed to you by the approval of others. It is built slowly, over time, and it is rooted in one thing: self-love. Self-love changes the way you see the world, and, more importantly, how you see yourself in it. Without it, opportunities can look intimidating, even impossible. You might see a job posting and think, "I'm not ready." Or meet someone influential and tell yourself, "I'm not good enough." But with self-love, those same situations look entirely different. You start to think, "I may not know everything yet, but I can learn." Or, "I might be nervous, but I'm still capable of trying." This mental shift is powerful because opportunities rarely arrive at the perfect time. They don't wait for us to feel fully prepared. They come when they come. Self-love is the inner strength that allows you to take that leap, even when uncertainty is present. When you love yourself, you become more willing to take risks. Not reckless gambles, but bold, intentional risks that move you toward your dreams. You start applying for the role you've always wanted. You send the message. You make the call. You launch the project. You no longer let fear make the decisions for you, because self-love whispers a different truth. You are worthy of trying. This quiet but powerful belief fuels action, and action is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. Failure, too, looks different through the lens of self-love. Without it, failure can feel like a personal verdict, a sign that you're simply not enough. But with self-love, failure becomes a stepping stone rather than a wall. You see it for what it truly is: feedback, a teacher, a necessary part of growth. You can fall, learn, and rise again without letting the experience damage your sense of self-worth. And that resilience, the ability to keep moving forward despite setbacks, is one of the most important predictors of long-term success. Think about the people you admire who have achieved remarkable things. None of them reached their goals without facing obstacles. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up is not that the successful ones avoided failure, it's that they didn't let it define them. Self-love gives you the ability to separate the outcome from your identity. You can look at a disappointment and say, "This didn't work, but I still have value. I still have options. I still have the ability to try again." That mindset keeps you moving forward when others might stop. Another often overlooked way that self-love fuels success is by guiding your goals in the right direction. Without it, you may find yourself chasing achievements that look good on paper, but feel hollow in your heart, Jobs chosen to impress, lifestyles designed to fit someone else's idea of success, or goals you adopted because you thought they were expected of you. You can work for years to reach those milestones, only to arrive and realize they don't bring you the joy you thought they would. Self-love changes that. It helps you set goals that align with your values, passions, and authentic self. You no longer pursue things to prove your worth to others. You pursue them because they truly matter to you. The most successful people often have something in common: a quiet confidence. It's not arrogance or a need to constantly prove themselves. It's a steady self-assurance that allows them to keep going no matter the noise around them. They can accept praise without becoming dependent on it, and they can accept criticism without falling apart. They know who they are, and that knowledge keeps them grounded. This is the strength that comes from self-love, and it's one of the reasons they can focus on their work and vision without being distracted by the opinions of others. Self-love is, in many ways, like fuel for a car. You can have the most advanced vehicle, the skills, the strategy, the opportunity, but without fuel, you won't get far. Self-love is what keeps you going when the road is long, when the hills are steep, and when the destination feels far away. It's what allows you to keep showing up, keep trying, and keep believing that your effort is worth it. It doesn't remove the challenges, but it gives you the strength to face them without losing yourself in the process. It also allows you to enjoy the journey instead of being crushed by it. When you have self-love, you don't measure your worth solely by the final result. You value the progress, the learning, and the growth that happens along the way. You can celebrate small wins instead of dismissing them. You can take pride in the steps you've taken, even if you're not yet where you want to be. This mindset not only makes the journey more fulfilling, but it also increases the chances that you'll keep going until you reach your destination. In the end, self-love doesn't just help you reach success. It shapes how you define it. Instead of chasing someone else's vision, you create your own. You decide what truly matters to you and what will make your life feel meaningful. You stop trying to earn worthiness through accomplishments and instead use your worthiness as the foundation to build those accomplishments. That shift changes everything. When you believe in your own value, you move toward your goals with courage, resilience, and clarity. You don't just achieve, you achieve in a way that feels true to who you are. And that, more than anything else, is the kind of success that lasts. Chapter 6. Living as your own best friend. At the end of the day, when the noise of the world fades and the lights are turned off, there is one person you are always left with. You. Friends may come and go. Family members may live far away. Relationships may change with time. Circumstances can shift overnight. But through every season, every chapter, and every change in your life, you are always with yourself. You are your own lifelong companion. This truth is powerful, but many people forget it. They invest time, love, and energy into everyone else, but neglect the relationship they have with themselves. They forgive others for mistakes, but punish themselves endlessly for their own. They encourage friends during hard times, but criticize themselves when things go wrong. If you think about it, that is not how a best friend behaves. So ask yourself, if you were truly your own best friend, how would you treat you? You would forgive your mistakes, knowing that one bad moment does not erase your worth. You would celebrate your wins, even the small ones, because progress deserves recognition. You would stand by your side in hard times, offering comfort instead of judgment. You would cheer yourself on when trying something new, believing in your ability to succeed. Living as your own best friend means you stop being your own enemy. You stop destroying yourself with negative words that replay in your mind. You stop feeding your body and mind with things that hurt you. You stop making choices that you know will harm your peace and happiness. You begin to notice when your inner voice turns cruel and replace it with one that is compassionate and understanding. Being your own best friend also means showing up for yourself in the same way you would for someone you care about. If a friend was tired and overwhelmed, you might tell them to rest. Do you give yourself permission to rest without guilt? If a friend was working toward a dream, you might offer them encouragement. Do you speak words of encouragement to yourself? If a friend was in a toxic situation, you might help them walk away. Do you allow yourself to leave environments that damage you? This shift does not happen overnight. You do not wake up one morning suddenly overflowing with self-kindness and unshakable confidence. It is a daily choice, sometimes an hourly one. Every decision you make can either strengthen or weaken your relationship with yourself. Skipping self-care, overcommitting to please others, or ignoring your needs will slowly drain your self-respect. But every time you choose to listen to your needs, honor your feelings, and protect your well-being, your self-love grows stronger. Think of it as building trust with yourself. Just like any relationship, trust is built through consistent action. When you keep your promises to yourself, whether it's going for that walk you said you would take, saying no to something that drains you, or speaking kindly when you make a mistake, you prove to yourself that you can be relied on. And when you trust yourself, life feels more secure because you know you will not abandon yourself when things get hard. As your self-love grows, everything else in your life begins to improve. Your boundaries become clearer. Your choices become more aligned with your values. Your relationships become healthier because you are no longer seeking constant approval or allowing yourself to be mistreated. You carry yourself differently, more confidently, more peacefully, because you know you have your own back. Being your own best friend is not about isolating yourself from others. It's about creating a relationship with yourself that is so strong, no matter what happens, you remain steady inside. It is about treating yourself with the same loyalty, care, and respect you would give to someone you love deeply. And when you do this, you discover that you have been the most important friend you will ever have, all along. Closing words. The journey begins now. Self-love is not the end of your growth. It is only the beginning. When you truly love yourself, you unlock a deep well of energy, courage, and focus. These qualities give you the power to chase your dreams with confidence and to live a life that feels real and meaningful. One that belongs to you, not to anyone else's expectations or opinions. The journey ahead will not always be easy. There will be moments when doubt creeps in, when the voice of self-criticism tries to steal your peace. You will meet people who want to pull you back into old habits or patterns that no longer serve you. But every time you choose to stand by yourself, to honor your worth, you are proving a powerful truth. You are worthy of love, respect, and happiness. Here at English Achieve, we believe that self-love is the foundation of every success. It's the starting point for building confidence, resilience, and true happiness. This journey is about more than just feeling good. It's about creating a life where you can thrive, grow, and become your best self. So, from this moment forward, make a promise to yourself. Promise that you will treat yourself with the same respect, patience, and kindness that you freely give to others. Promise that you will stand up for your needs and dreams, even when it feels hard. Promise that you will believe in your own strength and love yourself fully, no matter what. Because when you do this, you are not only transforming your own life, you are giving the world a priceless gift. You are becoming a stronger, more confident, and more loving version of yourself. And that version is ready to shine. The journey begins now.